Have you ever looked at your phone and thought about where it all came from? You know, designed in California, assembled in China, with parts from South Korea. It's this giant tangled web of global trade. Today, we're going to pull on one thread and unravel the one core idea that explains why the world works this way.
It seems like a pretty reasonable question, right? Wouldn't it be simpler, maybe even safer, for a country to just do it all? Make its own food, build its own cars, create its own technology? You'd think so. But it turns out that trying to go it alone is actually not the best way for any country to get ahead.
The answer to that question really boils down to one incredibly powerful economic idea. It's kind of the secret sauce, the thing that explains why we trade instead of just building walls. And once you get it, honestly, the whole global marketplace just kind of clicks into place.
And here it is. It's called comparative advantage. Now, I know it sounds a little academic, but the idea is actually super simple and really powerful. It just means that countries should focus on making the things they can produce most efficiently. Think of it like this. Even if a brilliant lawyer is also the fastest typist in their office, it still makes way more sense for them to focus on practicing law and just hire someone else to type. That's comparative advantage. You focus on what you do best compared to your other options.
And this is the part that's so important. It's not about being the absolute best in the world at making something. It's all about opportunity cost. A country has a comparative advantage if it gives up less to produce something than another country would. That lower sacrifice, that efficiency, that's its secret weapon.
So, what happens when countries actually do this, when they specialize? Well, the impact is huge. Productivity absolutely skyrockets. Costs drop for everyone. And for you and me, that means more stuff is more affordable. It's a classic win-win that helps lift up the whole global economy.
But look, cheaper products, that's just the beginning. This idea of specialization creates this incredible ripple effect, this chain reaction of growth that spreads all across the globe. Let's dig into how that actually works. So it all starts with competition. When companies have to compete on a global scale, they can't just sit back. They are forced to get better, to innovate, to find smarter and more efficient ways of doing things. And that constant push to innovate, that becomes the engine for real sustainable economic growth. And the benefits just keep stacking up from there. Trade gives countries access to brand new technologies they could never create themselves. It lets them diversify their economies, so they're not so vulnerable if one industry takes a hit. And, this is a big one, it also weaves nations together, creating these economic and diplomatic links that can help keep the world a more stable place. This quote here really nails it. A company selling only in its home country is going to hit a ceiling eventually. But international trade, it just smashes right through that ceiling, opening up a whole world of new customers that can fuel some pretty incredible growth. Okay, that's enough theory. Let's see what this looks like when the rubber meets the road. Let's look at a concrete, real-world example. So let's take a look at Indonesia. It exports things where it has a natural advantage, right? Things like palm oil from its incredibly fertile land, coal from its mines, and textiles from its factories. And in return, it imports the stuff it needs to keep growing. Things like advanced machinery and high-tech equipment, which it gets from industrial powerhouses like Japan and China. See? This is that trade-off in action. Indonesia isn't trying to build advanced robotics from the ground up. And why would it? It focuses on what it does best, sells those things to the world, and then uses that money to buy the high-tech tools it needs to make its own industries even better. That's comparative advantage, right there. So we've gone from this simple question to a huge economic principle to a real-world example. But let's bring it all back home. Let's talk about why this giant global idea actually matters in your day-to-day life. So if you remember three things from all this, make it these. First, the entire system of global trade is really built on that one simple idea, comparative advantage. Second, when countries specialize, we all tend to win with better efficiency and lower prices. And third, this whole system is a powerful engine for the innovation that drives growth all over the world. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. The next time you pick up your smartphone, or you drink a cup of coffee, or even just put on a t-shirt, just take a second. Think about the journey it took. How many different countries, each one playing to its own unique strengths, had a hand in bringing that single product to you? Once you start looking for it, you'll see the answer is all around us.